Hey everybody, welcome to KM Reviews. I am Niddleman. Today I'm bringing you a spoiler-free review for the movie La La Land. It's the new musical starring Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. It's definitely a throwback to the older style movies that had lots of breakout random musical numbers and people singing, and you'll know right off the bat, off the first scene of this movie, if you're going to like it or not, or if you're just going to be like, alright, this movie's not for me, because you have a whole bunch of people sitting in traffic who get out of the cars and they break out into a big musical number. And at that point, you're going to go, okay, that's what kind of movie this is. And you're either going to be invested or you're not. For me, I was kind of in between, which I guess kind of goes against what I said, but I was pretty invested at first. I liked it. I haven't seen a musical like this in a long time. I'm really not a musical movie type of guy, so I wasn't really looking forward to seeing this, but I wanted to see it so I could give a review to you guys. The last musical I saw that I really liked, if you're not counting like animated movies like Moana and stuff, would be Les Miserables. I actually really liked that movie. As far as this movie goes, it's a little bit different. The storyline itself was not nearly as epic as Les Miserables was. This movie is about Emma Stone, who is like a struggling actress, which I can kind of relate to because I've been trying a little bit of acting myself. So I've been going to those auditions and failing hard, and so I could kind of relate to that. And also, you got Ryan Gosling, who's this jazz musician who feels like jazz is just dying out, and he wishes people understood it the way he does, that it's not just elevator music, that there's a lot of conflict in the notes, and he's really passionate about it, and he kind of makes you passionate about it in the movie. And the music in this movie is very well done. I think they are singing it. I think one negative to this movie, though, would be the fact that I felt like they didn't quite sync up their voices in their mouth sometimes. You could tell they were doing like a voiceover singing, and it felt like the lips just weren't quite matched up, at least in my theater. So it felt like they weren't really singing it, which kind of took me out of it, which is kind of too bad. But overall, the dance numbers, the way they color this movie, like they got purple skies and stuff like that, it's just really visually appealing. There was a couple songs in there that were really catchy. I could definitely hear myself hearing those songs and kind of like, oh yeah, I remember this song. But there was also a couple songs, or like this little piano number he does in the movie that I swear they played like 100 times, and I was like, let's do some new music. And I understood why they were doing it. It was kind of relating to their characters on how they met during this musical piece, and how it kind of keeps coming up, and then like he'll play it to kind of, it's like their thing. But that got a little bit old to me. And honestly, about halfway through this movie, I was like, man, this movie's kind of long, Maybe it wasn't that it was slow-paced, because it really wasn't. It just felt long to me, and I was like, man, they need to cut out like a half hour out of this movie or something. I know I'm in the minority, but this movie was not the greatest thing in the world. I heard so many critics, this is the best movie of 2016, blah. Not for me. To me, this was just kind of another movie that happened to be a musical. The acting was great. I think Ryan Gosling is actually playing the piano and the instruments in this movie, which if so, that's really impressive. I think they are actually singing, which is, again, really impressive. It just shows these two are true movie stars. However, just overall, I think I was just expecting too much, because I had so much hype for this movie. Like, even if you don't like musicals, this movie's it's gonna blow you away. It's the best thing in the world. And it just wasn't for me. So because I was expecting so much, and I just kind of got, it's all right, I'm gonna have to give this movie blue balls. Now, again, that does not mean this is a bad movie. I'm just waiting for all those comments. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You suck. But, again, it's not a bad movie. The Blue Balls rating just means I was expecting a lot. It didn't quite meet my expectations, okay? So this is a good movie. It's just not quite up to par with what I was expecting. I was a little let down. I'm probably in the minority of that, but that's just the way I felt, guys. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that jazz. Pretty much everything, at Niddleman. I am curious, though, what did you guys think of this movie? Do you like musicals? Do you want more movies like this to be made with kind of throwback to the old, Dancing in the Rain and Mary Poppins type musical stuff? Let me know and comment below. Also, remember, you can subscribe to me and get updated reviews every single week if you can handle it. Go.